Hello everyone, you're welcome to Relationship and Hi with Yetunde Mabel on Go Joy TV. And I have with me again
Bukola, Fawehinmi. It's nice to be here again.
Same here, you always be seeing this face. Okay, so I was having a conversation with someone. It's always from conversations that I get the inspiration for our topics. Okay, so this person said she has a pastor, and the pastor's son these days has been so wayward that he has been doing a whole lot of things, like to the extent of even joining a cult group in school. And this pastor is a very good person, he's a very good person. The way he even trains other children, he reflects and they become good people and turn out to be good people. And so he's just surprised that why is it that his own child, he finds this very difficult to turn out. I don't know, maybe it's the parenting, probably he's trying his best and the child is not bringing the best out, or what do you think? So that actually brought me to this question, and I've been wanting to ask, do you think there is such a thing as right parenting, or do we say good and bad parenting?
I think for us to have bad parenting, and that means there must be good parenting. So I think we should stick with the word good and bad.
So we should not say right parenting.
Yes, because what is right for you might not be right for me.
Yeah.
So I think we should stick with good parenting and bad parenting.
I was going to cite an example, the reason why I wouldn't say the right parenting is because there's some people that they don't even use the kind of things I believe is right, or the skills that some people believe is right to train their children, and they still turn out well.
Yeah.
So definitely they use the good parenting for them.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. The good. So I think from my own part, let me talk about this parenting of a thing, the good parenting of a thing. I think parents should learn to be friends with their children. Now we're talking about the good parenting. Good parenting has to do with friendship. When you don't have that bond, that friendship with your child, they might not turn out well.
Man, let's talk about. I'm going to cut you there. When you say friendship, I begin to remember why we were growing up. I don't know if it happens to you, but to me, you hear your dad's on and you have to behave yourself. There's a way we all run.
It's a standard procedure as in
for every African home. Trust me.
I think almost everybody passed through that, even myself inclusive.
Okay.
I also passed through it too. As in once you hear my dad's horn, straight to the bed.
So how do we create friendship with those kind of people? With the way they've created a kind of fear in us.
Yeah, I like that. We can still create friendship. I think that aspect might not really be fear that they are creating in us. I think we were actually doing something that we didn't want them to meet us doing. That was why we had to run away.
When this person said the dad, the pastor is a very good person, and the pastor has been able to teach and raise some other children, and they turn out well. So I begin to think I think there is something like individual differences. For some children, the way they take the way their parents relate with them is quite different.
Yes.
For me now, it's not like my dad is a disciplinarian or strict
man.
But there is just something about him that we appreciate, that we value. It's like you see something in someone and you just respect them for that thing. My dad doesn't really tell us, don't do this, don't do that. But he has a way of telling you not to do something in a friendly way. For example, my dad will say something like, oh, you're traveling. If I tell him I'm traveling, I'm going on a very long journey, what he would just say is, do you think this thing will glorify the name of God? Or do you think this thing will not affect you
negatively?
So he will try to make you see the negative and the positive effect of what you're about to do. And I think that really helped us. We had the freedom. We could do whatever we like. But then when you begin to look at the way they relate with you, the way they present these things to you, you yourself, you check yourself, but still, some children will still not take it. Trust me.
Let me talk about this pastor's son turning out to be a cultist. I think that for a child to turn out well, it does not really matter whether the dad is a pastor or not.
Yes.
If the child does not have that environment to thrive and have a good behavior, that child will definitely turn out well. Now, that comes down to the parent's responsibility. A parent's responsibility is to provide for the child. But what about other aspects of the child's life? Giving the right environment for that child to grow well. What did I mean by the right environment? Number one is this friendly environment that you also talk about, that you have this kind of relationship with your dad. For your dad to tell you that, think about the negative effect of your action. Your dad must have had a kind of relationship with you.
For that even if you're thinking of doing something bad,
once you remember what your dad said, he has instilled that in you, because over the years, he has built that confidence in you, that whatever I tell my child, even if I'm not there, my child will take to it.
It's become something so unconscious that even while we're staying alone, once you know that it's 7 p.m., there's a way that you just feel like you're not supposed to be out.
Exactly.
You're not supposed, not because your parents are there, not because they're going to know about it, but there's just this way that you've been able to understand that there are some things that are attached to staying out at night.
Yes.
Definitely not because your parents says you should stay out at night, but because you've been able to learn the reason why they want you not to stay out at night. And so that's why I'm coming back to that pastor's son, really. Okay. I would say sometimes our parents try. And I still love the way our parents raised us. I still love that way.
I think maybe our own generation.
A
whole lot of us actually turned out well to an extent. But this generation, we see a lot of things that are wrong. Yeah. And I think maybe because the parents leave the house in the morning, they all go to look for money. And sometimes they abandon
so concerned about their career and their businesses that they don't just care about their children.
And these children are being neglected. But we just want parents to know that parenting is actually a whole lot of effort. And I think we discussed off camera that when couples are going for marriage counseling now, churches should please include parenting as part of marriage counseling.
So true. Like, honestly, parenting is very important.
Should be part of marriage counseling. So that when you are going into a marriage, you know that you're not going into the marriage just for the fun and all that. Children are going to come along the way, and they have to be given the good parenting so that they can turn out to be a better person in the society.
And I even say something like, the kind of parenting you give to a child reflects in the way he relates with other people in the society. That is why it's always good that, I will talk about the female child because you're always at the receiving end.
Yes.
It's always good that you call these children and, educate them. Let them know that the society we had these days, they expect more of the female child.
Yes.
Seriously.
A lot of people are banking on, people no longer put the female child at the back again
seriously.
Because we see that both male and female in the society now actually have their own input in the society.
So I just wanted to help my friend out, why he said he still doesn't understand why a pastor's child would turn out that way. And I really think it's not the pastor's fault. He probably has tried his best.
Yeah.
And sometimes he might not even be paying attention to his own child. Why he's paying a lot of attention to other children. You said something. You said for some parents, they pay more attention to the other children they have around them more than they pay to their own children.
Yes.
Because sometimes they use those children to serve their own children. So I think you should talk about that part while we just
round up. Yeah, it's like that pastor, we're still going back to the pastor that his son turned out bad, while other children that the pastor nurtured turned out well. I think I'm going to blame that pastor in that aspect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give him the blame because other children living with him turned out well, but his own son did not turn out well. I think he didn't take time to pay attention to his own son. It might be possible that he was even actually using that other children in the house to serve his own child. And at the end of the day, they turned out to, because maybe they were the ones that was doing most of the house chores. The whole responsibility of the house lied on them while the child was just sleeping.
And he didn't see anything bad in that what he's doing.
People are always around to do that. And at the end of the day, the child didn't turn well. So I think...
So I'm just going to throw this out so we don't take a lot of time just talking about this because we have a lot to talk about, trust me. So I'm just going to ask you, our audience, that how best do you think we can raise a child to become responsible in the society? Given the kind of environment that we have these days, the way children just wants to explore, just wants to do a lot of things, and the way parents too are so carried away with career, with money, with businesses, that we hardly have time for our children. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to read your opinion. Somebody could pick something from one of the two things you'll be talking about or you'll be telling us. So guys, let's read from you. How best do you think we can raise a child to be responsible in society. And so I still remain Yetunde Mabel, and we're coming back again.
Yeah.
You know, we'll always be back. And so follow us on all social media pages at GoJoy TV, and also on YouTube, youtube.com/GoJoy TV. Thank you. See you again.